Howard Webb, welcome to Dortmund. Obviously, all eyes are going to be on this tournament and the Copa America this year. What is going to differ in this competition of refereeing and officiating compared to what we've seen in the Premier League last season?
Well, there shouldn't be too many differences. We try to align ourselves with the way that UEFA do things, but one of the big focuses this season is around participant behaviour, around the behaviour of those on the field to make sure that the right image is sent to the world that's watching this tournament. I mean, the quality on the field is going to be outstanding, isn't it? And they want to make sure that there's a good image sent around the world in terms of the way that players respond to decisions. So what UEFA are asking this year is that the only people who are really going to engage with the ref is the captain. It doesn't mean that other players and the referees won't engage at some point during the game, but in those big moments when players start to normally react to decisions, start maybe running at referees in the past, they're saying that's not acceptable. The captain can approach the referee. They'll be given some information about the reason for the decision that was taken, or even around what's happening with the VAR check. But what they're not going to want to see is players running at referees. And if they do, then there'll be a pretty hard line drawn, low tolerance for that type of behaviour. But in return for players not doing that, then the referees will be expected to work with the captain and build a relationship so that the image of the game is a positive one that's sent all over the world, and particularly to young kids who are watching, aspiring to be on the field at some points themselves.
Is there going to be any more things at this Euros that are going to be trialled which the PGMOL might be able to use next season in the Premier League?
Well, there's going to be semi-automated offside technology in this tournament. You know that's going to come into the Premier League next season. We're excited about that coming in. Looking forward to using that from early in next season. That's going to ensure that the checks on offside situations are efficient. So we're looking forward to seeing how that's going to be used in the Euros this year. Outside of that, pretty much as you've seen this year in the Premier League. Looking forward to seeing how the English officials perform. We've got 8 officials at the tournament as well. 6 working on the field, 2 as VAR down in Leipzig. So looking forward to seeing their work. In fact, the first one is going to be on the field next match day tomorrow in Spain, Croatia. So looking forward to seeing Michael Oliver work on that one.
Perfect. Let me just double check it's still recording. We are good to go. Right. Like we've seen over the last week, Wolves were the only team that voted against VAR next season. What were some of the responses from clubs? Because it seemed like a couple of clubs were still against it, but we are sticking with VAR. Do you think the right decision has been made on that?
Yeah, well, I do. I think VAR adds positively to the game. You want to make sure that the decisions are accurate. You want to make sure that any errors that happen on the field can be rectified quickly. I remember when I was refereeing, you'd make a decision, you'd get that sort of gut feeling that you might have misread something, but there was nothing you can do about it. That's not a good place to be as a referee. So having the ability to be able to rectify it in the moment rather than being able to see it later and not be able to do anything about it is a good thing. But yeah, there was strong support for the continued use of VAR, but everybody wants to see it being used efficiently in a way that has the kind of minimum impact on the flow of the game. We all love the tempo, the flow of the game, particularly in the English game. So, we're going to continue working to keep it as efficient as we can make it, be as consistent as we can be by ensuring that we only use it for those really clear situations. We're not here to kind of re-referee those subjective situations where if you do change a call on the field, you're taking one subjective call and replacing it with another one that might not be like any more accepted than the previous one. So I think the important thing is to continue using it for those situations that it was brought in for, those really clear errors, the ones that we kind of even remember now, thinking back to tournaments, Euros and World Cups, situations that stand out where the referee wasn't able to change the call because there was no VAR, but now can do that, makes it a fairer game. And again, by continuing to train intensively, which we've been doing for the last couple of seasons now, continue using the technology that's coming in to make it even quicker as well. Then I think over time we'll see that those benefits being more apparent, and of course sharing information with the fans as much as we can do. We've done more this year than ever before in drawing that curtain back, sharing some of the conversations, the dialogue between the officials, giving rationale for the decision making, and we'll keep looking at ways that we can do that in real time as well in the stadium, and also as much as we can to the TV audience at home, because it's important that people understand the reasons behind decisions. That leads, in my opinion, to more acceptance.
Thank you very much. Cool. So working. Sorry, my phone's been a pain. Like I say. Final question from me. We saw reports that former players and former managers as well might be brought in to become referees in the future. Do you think that's the best way, the best way for the future, that we go down that route so former players are able to officiate games? Because they're the ones that have played the game. Do you think they could actually give a helping hand or not?
I do. That's why we're promoting this initiative, working closely with the PFA. I think it's kind of, on one hand, it's strange, isn't it, that we've got no real ex-professional players refereeing. On another hand, I can kind of understand maybe why they don't think it's for them. It takes a while, or traditionally it's taken a while to get to the top. And for a long time, officials have had to deal with some, over time, pretty ugly scenes on the field as well. We're trying to change that. We're trying to be better in terms of the way we respond to that unacceptable behaviour, like I've talked about earlier today, about the way that UEFA are trying to project that positive image by dealing strongly with behaviours that are not acceptable, working with the captains. So we're all buying into that. I think on top of that, we're making the pathway quicker, so that when you do finish playing, it's not going to take you 10 or 11 or 12 years to make it to the top. You can do it in a short amount of time with additional support. Those people that have played the game have got a real strong lived experience of the game. And I think some of them will make excellent referees. So we're saying, look, if you think it's possibly for you, come and have a go. We'll support you. The PFA will back us as well. And let's get some people involved. Let's get some people through more quickly. And hopefully some will come through to be really successful referees, extending their career on the field, using all of their experience in another way. Not forgetting, of course, that anybody can start refereeing. I'd invite anybody to give it a go. It's a wonderful thing to get involved in. I think that we need more people from all different types of backgrounds to get involved. We're trying to be more diverse as well in terms of the representation at the higher levels of the games. We've seen our first female referee in the Premier League this season. We've seen our first black official for 16 years, our first British Asian referee on the Premier League. So a lot of people have seen that it could be for them. Come and have a go, see how you feel about it. We'll support you. If you're good, you get you to the top of the game, and refereeing will be stronger than ever.
Yes or no, England winning the Euros? You have to give me an answer.
Yes.
Thank you, Howard Webb. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thanks.
Mate, thank you so much.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.